Okay, welcome back to No Soldier Left Behind Hippocratic Oath playthrough. When we last left off, our two medics were rushing from the field hospital down into the ruins of Bastogne to help this soldier that's bleeding out. We have to do it before we run out of, until we get too many of these tactics tokens placed on the scenario card, or else we lose the scenario. And a Wehrmacht fire team has been sighted coming in from the west. And since we're playing medics who have no guns, we're going to have to see what we can do to work around avoiding this guy and evading this guy so that we can save the men that we're trying to save. So let's get going. We're going to start with the next Axis turn. So the first thing we do is check bleeding and remove pins. We don't have any in play right now, so we skip those turns. And we go directly to rolling for threat. There are two soldiers, so we roll 2 dice. 5 threat tokens. That's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, okay. Then we do the scenario card, and the scenario card says to draw an Axis card, and if you can pay for it, put it into play. What have we got? A patrol for 5. Okay, we can pay for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it says that it comes in face down at the ruined town. So we'll set him face down, and there's his token, so he goes there too. All right, then we place a tactics token, and if there's 6 there, then we lose. We're up to 4. Things are getting dicey. And if the on-point soldier is in the ruins, which he's not, then we would move on to the next card, but it's not. So now, the challenge actions happen. So this guy's challenge action is to just flip up, so he doesn't do anything this turn. This guy, we're going to do all the things that it lists here in order. So the first thing is that he's going to target 2, and what that means is he's going to target the on-point soldier at range 2. So here he is. It's range 2 to him, but that icon there means that it blocks line of sight. So he doesn't have line of sight to him. So what he's going to do instead is move towards him. So this token moves here, and then his turn ends. So that's all that happens from our enemies right now. But things are starting to look a little dicey. We've got 2 enemies out. We're still on stage 1 of our scenario, and we haven't even gotten into the place we need to get to yet. So we're going to have some trouble. But that's all that happens this turn. So let's flip over to the Allies' turn. So we refresh. We drain. And then we can play a card. So let's think here for a second. We want to move down into here. This is going to take 2 movement focus. I don't currently have a way of getting there because of the move out card. If I played it, I could have a movement focus of 1, but that's not enough to move into the ruins. The ruins are too ruined for me to effectively move quickly. So I could either put out my move out card now and not doing anything with it, and then do a bravery next turn, which would give me 3, which would be overshot. Or I could put out bravery now, and then next turn put out move out, which would give me 2 movement focus, and I could move in there, but then I could use my bravery focus to do some recon this turn. So I think I'll do that. So he is screwing his courage to the sticking point right now. And what about this guy? Well, he's got enough to move in there. Maybe he should be doing some medical training too. But I'm worried about these guys. Maybe I should go work on them. Well, both of these guys are susceptible to stealth. This guy is susceptible to stealth and firepower. This guy is susceptible to stealth and training because he's a scout patrol. We're just trying to avoid him. Well, all right. Well, let's just go ahead and run for it. We need to help this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do another recon, because we need to start clearing this area of threat either way. So let's do that. All right, so we've played our cards. Let's do our actions. So let's do a recon. We have 1, 2, and I will spend my rally token. I'm going to try and clear this threat here. 1, 2, not a problem. Okay, so now it's pretty safe to move in there. So now he can re-rally himself. It's really handy. And he can move out. He has a movement focus of 1, 2. So he will move in there. That's good. Okay. Now this guy, he's going to recon 1, 2. He's going to try and clear this threat, because eventually we're going to need to get in there. 2. So I can clear 2 of those. So he can't do medical training from there, and there's no bravery challenges to attack. So, and he's all done, so we're done. Let's do another set of turns. Okay, this flips back over to the Axis turn. And there's no bleeding, no pins, so we move to generating threat. 2 soldiers, 2 dice. 1. Nice. Okay. So we've done that. We do our scenario actions, draw an Axis card. Cost 9. We only have 2. So it goes away. We add a tactics token. If this was our 6th, we would have just lost, but we're only at 5. And the on-point soldier is in the ruins. So we did it with no turns to spare. So this card gets discarded, and we read the next one. Okay, so then there's flavor text, and then it says, draw an Axis card. If you can pay for it, play it. Let's do that. It's a 6. You only have 2. Goes away. Then challenges and hexes adjacent to the wounded token erode 1 strength. So what's happening is we've moved in here. There's a squad. One of their members is down. I'm looking at him, trying to treat him, and those soldiers are firing on this guy. So he takes 1 damage. If he takes 8, he goes away. But we've got a while to go before that happens. Okay. So now the challenge actions happen. Oh, and the special rule is there's a challenge here. A medical challenge. We discard this wounded token and this card when we complete this challenge. So we need to complete this challenge to get to the next stage. We got to get through all these stages in order to win the scenario. So every time we got to figure out what we need to do to get rid of the card and do what we need to make that happen. So we need to roll medical against this and get 3 successes to stabilize this wounded soldier. Okay, so challenge actions. Both these guys are in play now. So let's do it. Okay, so Wehrmacht Fire Team B, he targets at distance 2. Well, he's targeting the on-point soldier. Boom, boom. He can see him. So we go to the next thing. He cedes stealth and tactics. So he's going to cede to me if I can enact my stealth or tactics advantage. Now in each of these hexes, there's a stealth rating of 2 here and a tactics rating of 3. So I can take up to 2 or 3 tactics tokens on my card before I can't exert my advantage anymore. So since I can do 3 tactics, I'm going to take a tactics token and put it on my soldier. You have a limited number of these you can put on here because the more you rely on stealth or tactics, eventually the enemy is going to outmaneuver you. Eventually the enemy is going to find you. You can't just do this forever, but you can do it for a little while, depending on what your terrain is. So I exert my tactical advantage, and so he stops from there. He doesn't get to do his firing and his pinning. Now we do the scout patrol. He can target up to 3. But, again, the on-point soldier is 2 away, so range is fine, but both of these block line of sight. So what he's going to do is he's going to move. And he's going to try to move here, just so that they stay spread out. When it's ambiguous where they go, the on-point soldier gets to decide, because he could have moved here or he could have moved here. So the on-point soldier normally decides. So he's decided to spread them out a little bit. So now they have both moved. If they try to target and they can't, they move and then they end their turn. So both of them have moved, and we move on to the allies.